I'm Rick Ballamir, and today we're mostly reviewing the Lotus Eletre. We're going to tell you what we like, what we don't like. We're going to speak to a professional electric race car driver to see what he thinks about the car, and we're going to launch it to see what our friends and family think about the performance. Lotus, a name synonymous with sporty cars, speed and performance, have taken a giant leap into electrification. The philosophy of founder Colin Chapman was simply simplify and add lightness. But enter stage right, a 2.5-ton beauty, bursting with the best of modern technology. The Lotus Eletre. Absolutely beautiful. The design team at Lotus has done a fantastic job. I'd love to know what you think as well. Let us know in the comments. I've been driving this for a few days now, and so many people have stopped me, asked me questions about it, and just want to know what it's like to drive. And I can let you know, it is a rocket. We'll come on to the performance later though. Oh, so quick! Looking down here, you've got these various different vents and like the airflow through there, and various cameras all over the car. This very mean looking sporty grille, and at the top there, you've got LiDAR. And if you didn't know what LiDAR means, it stands for LiDAR is a detection system which works on the principle of radar but uses light from a laser. This car's got freaking lasers, and it has level 4 autonomy, which means when it's legal, this car will drive itself. So it is a new age for Lotus, and the car from a distance you might not recognise as a Lotus, but one thing that is indistinguishable is this badge. The Eletre S comes with a 112 kilowatt-hour battery, claiming a range of 373 miles WLTP. It does 0 to 62 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds, has a top speed of 155 miles per hour, and has a maximum DC charge rate of 350 kilowatts, meaning it can go from 10 to 80% in just 20 minutes, which is lightning fast, by the way. But what does 18-year-old professional EV racer Ellis Piezza think? As you might know, the Lotus Eletre just wanted to get a few tips from the top, someone who knows how to drive very fast in an electric car.
I'm definitely a Lotus fan. Some of their track purpose-built cars have been some of my all-time favorites to, rip around in and take a look at, but I definitely think seeing them go electric is absolutely incredible.
It does 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds in this Model S version, but there's an R version, over 900 brake horsepower.
That's incredible. I mean, we've seen what the Tesla can do with their Plaid, so to have that in sort of a more family-oriented car, you can pick up the kids, drop them off, put it in sport mode, and you could probably beat pretty much anything from, light to light in that short distance with all that extra power. And then, of course, that all-wheel drive, putting it to the floor and getting you, from 0 to 60 in an absolutely insane amount of time.
Welcome to the interior of the Lotus Eletre. It is beautiful. Everything is lovely to the touch. You do have this plastic bits here, which are fingerprint nightmare, but everything just feels super premium. This screen is excellent. The steering wheel, we'll come onto that shortly, it's got so much control in it, and they've just done a really good job on designing this. Does it match the hefty price tag? Just about, although it has got a few features which I think needs improving, which could be done in software updates. The kids obviously wanted to know, has it got games? Not really. But to be fair, I wouldn't let them in this car anyway, it's just too nice. Storage, now this is a great little feature. Got like these little trampoline type things. Although it could do with going a little bit lower, unless you want to pretend you've got a gear stick there. Down there, loads of room for stuff in there. You've got a nice little hole here to put your phone on wireless charging, and you've got a door bin, but it's not the biggest, doesn't fit your big bottle, does fit your little bottle. I do wish that they'd made room for something down here, even for like things like sunglasses or mobile phone, that sort of thing, if I'm being a bit of a grumbler. Oh, and when Barney, and I said I wouldn't mention this, when Barney was explaining how certain things in the car worked, he showed me that this was how you put the spoiler up at the back. Glove box. He'd be very embarrassed about that. Sorry Barney, I hope you're not watching this. Aside from that, Barney had an encyclopedic knowledge of this car and all things Lotus. Keep an eye out for his insights on the Eletre S. I love it, I don't want to give it back, so that is my litmus test for all cars. Please can I keep it Lotus? Please. Oh. So if this is the electric car for you and you want to select this, head over to selectcarleasing.co.uk. Head over to the Select Car Leasing YouTube for more electrifying reviews. Who does this car best suit? The type of person that wants to feel like the cat's pajamas, someone that is keen to cruise through town, but not the type of person that needs to rev their engine all the time. Do you know what? I wish we could have taken this on a track to see what it could really do. Try and get it sideways. But even driving around country roads, you know, when you put your foot down, you know that it can handle whatever you throw at it. And it is quite big, it's quite a long car, it's quite a wide car, and we've had to go through a few sort of tight bits, but there's so many sensors and so many cameras around the car, it does make your driving experience very easy. Mega comfortable, the ride height's really good, the seats are brilliant, you've even got heated and cooled seats, so at the moment I've got a nice cool bottom. If I'm going to be really picky, I'd say the suspension could be a bit softer and the brakes could be a bit less keen. The majority of the controls is through this, and it does take a little bit getting used to. You do have physical knobs and buttons though for adjusting your heating, for turning on your front and rear demisters, for unlocking the car, and Barney's favourite bit, the spoiler. In order to help you focus on the road, it does put a lot of information in front of you here, like your miles per hour, your regen, how much battery you've got left, and it's got a head-up display as well, which you can turn on or turn off, which also projects information like your speed, your navigation, and whether your lane keep assist and your adaptive cruise control is on. So that's very useful. And the lads have actually really enjoyed being in the passenger seat because you can kind of DJ from this screen on the front, which is very useful. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto as standard. When you put your foot down. Now let's come round the derriere, because this is where it gets really interesting. Not only have you got more LiDAR technology up there, you've got these special spoilers, you've got this very special spoiler and this beautiful light bar. So this pops up when you're going at certain speeds to give you extra downforce. Even more cameras down here and extra aero. Cameraman Cal, pass me the stick of glory. Here comes the stick of glory. The only thing slow about this car is how slowly the boot goes up. If I'm really grumbling, that's quite quick actually. Decent boot, but does it pass our golf club challenge? Stay tuned to find out. Another challenge we've started to put these cars through is the Braking Dad Challenge, 60 to 0, putting the brakes through their paces, which the Eletre passed with flying colours. Very impressive. And it's a very spacious place to be. Even if you're very tall or very short, you've got loads of manoeuvrability in these electric chairs, and it's got a massaging option as well. So you're driving along, you've had a long road trip, hit the massage, and it just gives you what you need. Let's talk about the steering wheel. Oh, a solid thump. Sorry, it just made you jump, Cal. Down here, we've got the regen. So you've got these paddles on either side. So your regenerative braking, which basically forces energy back into your battery when you're not accelerating. Very useful to have these up here. It does make you feel like a racing car driver. On the right-hand side here, you've got your mode select. So you've got various different modes. We've got Tour, which we're currently in, or you can go into range, which is if you're driving very long range, and off-road, which is going to make the car go up and ready for going into four-wheel drive. And when it does, it gives you that extra bit of confidence over rough terrain. Perfect for mounting those high curbs in Chelsea, if that's your thing. Let's go through some of the features. This is a really nice touch. That panoramic sunroof can change in opacity, and it does it either automatically or you can do it yourself. And if you just want to sit and admire your car from inside the car, you can do this till the cows come home. Oh, and you can put your spoiler up as well. A little space here to put your glasses, but as soon as you accelerate, you're going to lose those. And then press this button, and the door opens, the seats retract, so does the steering wheel, and you're good to go. The boot is cavernous, clocking in at a whopping 688 litres with the seats up and 1,523 litres with the seats down. More than sufficient for anything you might want to pile in when necessary. And the 40-20-40 split is very convenient for longer items. Now, if you've got something heavy you want to chuck in the boot, fear not, as it has a handy button that swiftly lowers the suspension for you. Oh, and it's got ISOFIX for the child seats. So much room in the back here. It is absolutely massive, and you've got this armrest which also goes like that, and you can put things like phones, maybe a small sandwich, and cup holders. But this is where it gets really interesting. They've got a screen in the back here, which means you can control your climate, you can control your seats, you can even play music through the back here. This was quite an annoying feature though, because when I put my kids in here, the first thing they did was started moving this chair, the passenger seat chair, backwards and forwards, and it was driving the passenger mad. You've even got heated and ventilated seats in the back. Kind of like this, although if you want to poke the driver in the back of the head, you can do. Oh, and for you executive travellers, if you want to bring a coat hanger in your shirt, you can stick it on there. There's also a hook there. Not quite sure what you would put here. Let us know in the comments.
Now, it's always good fun to show off an EV's greatest party trick, straight line acceleration. So I decided to get some real-time reactions, much to the surprise and clear joy of team members Lewis and Pruti. Through years of gimbal operation, Lewis has developed forearms like Popeye, but would his reactions be enough to prevent a trip to A&E? There was only one way to find out. Fortunately, yes. We picked up Pruti from the station, blissfully unaware of what was to come for her EV initiation in one of the world's fastest SUVs. I deduced that that was the face of someone who definitely wanted to experience it again.
I usually avoid roller coasters as well.
If you feel bad for Pruti, don't worry, Lewis had another go too.
Jeez, Luke.